I'm Tarra, and I am going to inform you about Abraham Lincoln. He was born in a log cabin, February 12th, 1809. From the time he was born up to when he was 7, he lived in Hardin, now called LaRue, County, Kentucky. When he was 7, he moved to Indiana with his family. He and his family moved there because they were against slavery and it was easier for them to own land. As a teenage boy, he was raised to know how to farm. He only made it to the 2nd grade, and school was not an encouragement for him. His mother died when he was 9, and his father remarried. He was named after his pioneer grandfather, who was shot dead by hostile Indians in 1786 while planting corn. His great aunt and uncle died of milk sickness. His mom cared for them until they died, and then she came down with milk sickness. Abe and his father built Abe's mom's coffin. Abe became a lawyer in Springfield. He found an instant rival in Stephen A. Douglas. Abe was a Whig, Douglas was a Democrat, and they were natural enemies. Abe became a major Whig Party leader. Lincoln met Mary Owens in the winter of 1839. Many people back then thought they wouldn't be a good couple. By Christmas in 1840, Abe and Mary were engaged. In 1841, Abe called off the engagement and sank into a deep depression. 15 months later, friends arranged a secret meeting between Abe and Mary. On November 4th, 1842, they married in Edwards' parlor. Lincoln joined Congress Lincoln joined Congress in 1847. It became obvious early on that he was anti-slavery. Lincoln voted with his party to stop slavery. He hated slavery. He believed it would take time to do away with slavery. He believed that as long as slavery was kept from spreading, it would die a natural death. During his reign as a congressman, slavery became a bad subject that threatened to split the nation apart. Lincoln was elected on November 6, 1860. The Southern leaders didn't want a black Republican as president. Only 3 months after Lincoln had taken his oath of office, South Carolina was the first state to leave the nation. At the start of the Civil War, people thought that the war would end quickly. People were saying to drop the Emancipation Proclamation, but Lincoln refused because the country needed men to see the war through to victory. At the Battle of Gettysburg, 170,000 troops met in battle, and after 3 days of fighting, more than 50,000 people were found dead on both sides. The North won the Battle of Gettysburg against the South. It was after this battle that Lincoln said, fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. The war ended April 9th when General Lee surrendered to General Grant. Jefferson Davis refused to admit defeat until he was captured in May. The war claimed over 600,000 lives and ended slavery. Lincoln died shortly after the war ended. He had been shot on April 14, 1865. He died the next morning. This is a picture of Lincoln's assassination at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., April 14, 1865. These are some pictures of Lincoln's memorial, and I would like to go to these places one of these days. Lincoln was born in a log cabin and raised to farm from an early age. He started getting into politics in his late 20s, early 30s. He was a Republican who was against slavery. To the day he died, he was a merciful hand with court-martialed soldiers, but he believed in death to his enemies. This is my speech. Thank you for listening.